I am very sure in the next 1 hour, 15 minutes, your mind's going to be blown because I'm about to share with you a brand new way to do your business. And I want to first set the context by sharing with you a very interesting news that was on Bloomberg. As you all know, this whole COVID-19 all happened in the city of Wuhan. And Wuhan was the very first city in China to be on quarantine, right, for about more than 2 months. And the good news is recently they were released. It's like they were on imprisonment and they got released. And you check it out, right? The headline says Wuhan, 11 million people are free to dine out, but they are not. So many of the F&B owners, they are hoping and praying that everything will go back to normal after quarantine is lifted off. But truth of the matter is people's habits have changed. People are so used today to eating from home. People are used to working from home. People are used to shopping from home, which means that even after this whole lockdown is being lifted, new habits have already been created, which means that whatever that's happening right now in Singapore, this is the new normal. Straits Times did another study, I think about 2 weeks ago, to ask Singaporeans, whether they prefer to work from home or they prefer to go out and commute. And about 75% of them actually said we prefer some form of working from home, which means that today, if you do not have a strategy on prospecting online, if you do not have a strategy to secure Zoom appointments, if you do not have a strategy to be able to sell insurance or planning online, and you have no strategy to get referrals online, then you're kind of screwed because the new world is here. I mean, I've been talking about this new world for a couple of years, but it's like a prophet not being celebrated, right? People finally see that the future of selling is here. And today, in the next 1 hour, 15 minutes, I want to walk you through a system that I've been teaching my KRR stars, my community, to help them to be able to find customers, not just find, but attract customers using social media without having to run ads. So if you guys are excited about this, let me know in the chat box. Say, yes, I'm excited. I want to know how to, crisis-proof my business, because I can assure you this whole COVID-19, right, it's just one of those crises. But truth of the matter is, whatever that's happening out there, the social media world is flourishing. So you need to build your new identity on social media. And I'm about to share with you how to do that. In fact, in the world of crisis, it's never the big fish these days that eats the small fish. It's the fast fish that eats the slow fish. So it doesn't matter if you are a big agency in AIA, it doesn't matter if you are COT, MDRT, TOT, this entire crisis erase everything and we are all starting from scratch, which means even if you are a new agent, you just joined AIA, you have a very good fighting chance to beat the old birds in AIA, simply because it's not about experience anymore, it's about speed. It's about how fast you're able to adapt into a new way of doing business. So that's why I tell people all the time that, it's not COVID-19 that kills your insurance business, it's complacency. For so many years, we knew about social media, but we don't take action. Why? Because the old ways are still working. Road shows are still working. Referrals are still working. Door knocking, cold call, and networking are all still working. And therefore, people are not willing to change the way they do their business. So I hope that, it's not too late yet, right? It would have been nice if you jump on the social media bandwagon a year ago, which is what the KRR community did. But I can assure you that, I'm going to help you accelerate your journey, and you could pretty much get a customer by end of this week if you start putting what I teach you into practice. So this is, the old way of doing business. We all remember this whole ratio of 10, 3, and 1, right? So you go out there, you talk to 10 skeptical strangers, either through a roadshow or door knocking, and then hopefully 3 of them will respond positively to you. And then out of 3 appointments, you secure 1 sale. All right, so that's the traditional way of doing it. But fundamentally, there are so many problems because number one, you're going after people who are skeptical. So you don't enjoy it because these guys are cold and they don't treat you well. That's why it takes so much discipline and willpower to do prospecting, right? Because you're going to be rejected. So that's already a fundamental problem. Number 2, you're only converting 3. What about the 7 of them that got away, right? We all know this, that in sales, right, it's not about one time. When I say no to you the first time, it doesn't really mean no forever. It just means not yet. But many of these traditional prospecting methods do not have a follow-up strategy to be able to help you close the 7 and the 2 that did not buy from you, right? And in Singapore, our country is so small. How many 10 skeptical strangers can you find? Especially when the insurance business is growing and booming, there are more and more insurance agents out there. There's a lot of competition. So fundamentally, this traditional method just isn't as effective. And now, to make things worse with COVID-19, it has just essentially destroyed every single prospecting method that you are being taught, right? So to kind of give you a sense of what some of the issues I notice agents are facing, I guess the fundamental one is that agents today cannot prospect using the traditional way. So they have no leads. And even today, if you go on social media and you try to go after, people that maybe potentially are your customers, they are going to ignore you because they have no idea who you are. And sometimes worse, they will even block you or even complain, and you might lose your Facebook account. And then so you'll say, it's okay, Eric, I'll go after my long lost friends. All my friends that I've connected on Facebook like 10 years ago, okay, and my teachers, my principals, my ex-colleagues, I'm going to reach out to them. But because you haven't been actively building a relationship with them on social media, they are still equally cold, except that they may not block you, but they'll just reject you very nicely by saying, oh, it's okay, I don't need it. So still, you have no sales, right? Because they don't respond positively to you. As a result of that, you'll notice that right now your appointments are either low or zero, which means that your sales is basically low or also zero. And those of you who are going into farming, which means that you go and build relationship with your existing customers to increase the case size, you realize that your customers now have a new excuse for not meeting up with you, COVID-19. Circuit breaker. They'll say, oh, you know what? Let's meet after circuit breaker. And we all thought that circuit breaker maybe it's just about 1 month, but it's been extended and now it's until 1st June. And God knows, right, on 1st June, what other conditions are going to be in place, which will allow your customers to continue to give you lame excuses of why they're not meeting you, which means no sales. And then there'll be some of you who will go like, you know what? I am going to start running ads. I'm going to go out there and advertise myself on social media, because advertisement basically is like running a roadshow. You dangle a freebie, you dangle something free, all right? And then people come and respond to you, right? But let me warn you that number one, if that prospect, if that lead doesn't know you, like you, or respect you, they will still not respond to your ad. Or even if the ad gives a good, nice freebie, they will just take the freebie and not respond to you at all, right? So you're wasting your money. The only people that benefit from it is Facebook and the digital marketing agency. Plus, you are in an insurance company, which means AIA has their own social media guidelines. You want to make sure you don't get yourself in trouble when you run ads, because if you run ads, you might get yourself in compliance troubles. So, and therefore you guys run ads, you get in trouble. Don't run ads, you die, right? So how many of you can feel the pain that these are all the challenges? In fact, let's do a poll right now. And I want to know specifically, out of all the challenges that I just brought up, which one is your biggest issue? You cannot prospect offline. And then the second one is your prospects online are ignoring you. Or number three, your customers do not want to meet up with you on Zoom. Or the last one is that you're afraid to run ads. Wow, customers do not want to meet me on Zoom is your biggest challenge. Now, I got good news for you guys. If your customers do not want to meet you on Zoom, stay with me all the way to the end of this webinar, because I'm about to give you a book, an ebook that will give you 7 WhatsApp text messages that you can send right now to your customers that will make them want to meet up with you for an insurance appointment. We had amazing results, and I'll show you the testimonials later. But if you have that problem, Feng, all right, relax, chill. All right, I would send it to you. You have to stay all the way to the end, then I'll give you the link, okay? But if your problem is the rest, like you don't know how to prospect online, your prospects online are ignoring you, and you're afraid to run ads, well, today we're gonna be addressing all those issues, okay? Thank you very much, Tom. All right, so let's very quickly move on to, how to fix this and to give you a solution. So you see, the key is always this, right? It's never about how to sell insurance. It's about knowing how people buy insurance. Because if I know how people buy, then I will know how to communicate. I know how to step in and intercept that person. And the thing is, how a person buy offline is very different from how a person buy online. So now I'm going to show you the buying journey of a customer when they're on social media. Okay, everything starts with this criteria that they have to, timeless principle, right? Whether is it offline or online, it still remains the same. That the person needs to know you, the person needs to like you, the person needs to respect you, then they will be more open to your influence. So that doesn't change. That's a timeless principle, right? The question is, back then, if I meet you offline, it's very easy for you to know me and like me, right? Because there's human interaction. But now there is no human interaction. The only thing that's between me and you is a computer screen, which means that it's harder for you to like me, right? So with that as a constraint, how do I still obey this timeless principle? How do I still allow my potential customers to know me, like me, and respect me so that they are open to buying something from me later on, right? And so I'm going to walk you through right now the customer's online journey. Okay, so everyone starts off as a skeptical stranger, and that's the good news, right? The good news is there's a billion of skeptical strangers out there that you can go after, and it's free of charge. They're on social media 24/7, right? So they're there. But the question is, how do you convert them into paying customers? All right. So step number one is you need to first get them to follow you. That's the first strategic action you need your customers to take, and that's to follow you, right? And when they follow you, they are paying you something. They're paying you attention, and that's extremely important. In the digital world, attention is the most important asset, because if I don't know you, I will have no chance to like you and respect you, all right? So people always say that you need to be the best insurance agent, right? That to be successful. There is there's a part two. You need to be the best insurance agent, and the customers need to know that. Because if you're the best, but the customers don't know, you'll still not get the business. So attention is extremely important, right? So step one is get people to follow you, and they end up becoming a curious follower. So they start to pay a little bit of attention to you, all right? And then your job is to get them to like you and respect you through your content, through your conversations with them online, right? So you be essentially building a relationship with them. And then you have one chance, all right, to ask them to join you into your community. So this is a very important bit that many of you missed out, right? That there is a middle piece before you actually convert them to be a customer. You have to take them outside social media, right? So for example, if you have been following me on Instagram, I have to have a way, right, to invite you guys to stay in touch with me, either by email, that means becoming my subscriber, or by giving me your telephone number, you stay in touch with me on a broadcast, or you join my Telegram group or join my Telegram channel. Later on, I'll explain in a little bit more detail why it's extremely important that you build your community outside a social media platform, all right? But second step is to actually convert your most active followers to be part of your community, and they are outside your social media platform. And then once they're outside your social media platform, you continue to use conversation and content to get them to like you more, to get them to respect you even more. So the timeless principle remains the same, right? Now, then you have one chance again every month to ask for a sales opportunity. Now, so what has been reported to be by KRR community, right, is that we don't even need to look for a sales. If we keep putting out the right content, to the community, right, they will come and say, I need to review my insurance. And so you end up getting passive inquiries. The mistake that many of you make probably is you start selling insurance to the curious followers, right? They're not ready to listen to insurance. That's the reason why they're not buying, okay? The only people that are ready is the community. And there's a method on how to invite them outside social media. And then, of course, when you ask for sale and they say yes, they don't just pay you, but they celebrate you. Why? Because you have already taken them through a journey of knowing you, liking you, and respecting you. So these guys are going to be extremely loyal to you. So if I can borrow the vocabulary that you guys are very familiar with, skeptical stranger are essentially your cold leads. Curious followers are your warm leads, but your active community is your hot leads. And these are the people that you want to go after. This is your biggest asset. All right. And then if they buy, they are not just your customer, but they're your best customers because they have an active, positive relationship with you. Okay. So that's the entire framework. And for the rest of the time, I'm going to walk you through the steps of how do you convert a stranger to be a raving fan. And the beauty of it is that this whole process can end up becoming automated. You can end up scaling it, at comfort of your home. So if you want more customers, you want more fans, you need to build your followers. And you need to have a process to get them to like you and respect you at each stage of the buying process. And you need to have specific call for actions so that you can convert them. Right? So that's the whole entire engine. All right. I call this the KLR branding system. Why do I not call it a selling system? Because the entire system helps your skeptical prospects to know you, like you, and respect you, so that they automatically come to you and say, I want to do business with you. It's an attraction-based model, right? So, and I've taught this, you know, to my mentees 3 years ago. If you guys know who Jiale is, right? He's the very first person who saw light when I shared this with him in the most traditional, in the most, I think back then I wasn't as fluent about sharing this, but you know, he took it, he ran with it, and today, you know, he's a phenomenon in the insurance industry. All right, so the magic number to remember is 120 and 10. 120 and 10. So it's no longer 10, 3, 1, which means that every month you want to focus on building a following of 100 on one of the social media platform, and then your job is to create content and create conversation so that you keep them warm. And every month you have one chance to invite them to join your community. So even if they say no to you the first month, because you keep creating content, you keep creating that relationship, the second month it might join you, or the third month it might join you. So your job is to convert 20% of them to be part of your community. And in the community, there's very specialized information that you need to be sending to them. All right, that will cause them to want to meet up with you for an insurance appointment. Okay, so that's the key. Now, so how do we start? Well, I think Stephen Covey said best in the 7 habits, habit number 1, which is begin with the end in mind, right? For you to build this entire KRR branding system or this attraction-based business, right, you need to first understand or get clarity about who you're trying to attract. Because on social media, there are all kinds of people out there. So if you try to go after everyone, you end up going after no one. So you have to be very focused. You need to aim to be a big fish in a small pond. You need to focus on dominating, not competing. Yeah. So that's the key in social media. Don't just because now you have the whole entire world at your disposal, you try to go after everyone. It doesn't work that way. On social media, the more focused you are, the more successful you become. So you have to ask yourself who you want to attract, which is the first group of customers that you want to build a loyal following. Right? And I call that your dream customers. And generally, your dream customers are your best customers. So if you have been in the business for at least about 6 months, you have enough data to be able to assess who are your best customers. And these are the 3 criteria that I would say would be great to help use to assess. So number 1, high disposable income. Number 2, got to have a lot of chemistry with you, a lot of similarity with you, or you can click very well with them. And number 3, you know, they are extremely well connected, either because of their social standing, because they are a social butterfly, or because they have a strong influence on social media, or simply because they are in a position of power, right, in the corporate world or in their own world. So look for customers, your current existing customers that fit these 3 criteria, okay? And then go create a list, right? So once you create a list, these are your best customers. I want to teach you how to find more of your best customers. So I tell you, this whole social media branding thing, right? It's so great for you because it allows you to really think very carefully who you really want to do business with. Right, so it's a chance for you to restart this and to do it well and to do it right. So once you access and identify your top customers, right, who have these 3 criteria, at least 2 of the criteria, then I want you to actually send them a text message to get on a phone call with them. It has to be a phone call because we need to study them. Because the more you can understand your best customers, the easier it is later on to attract more of those best customers. You get it? So what I want you to do is once you get a whole list of your best customers, I want you to ask them the following questions. I'll walk you through the questions and then I'll tell you why I asked these questions. So question number 1 is, which social media platform do you hang out the most? What time do you usually go online? Who do you follow? What content do you enjoy? And what keeps you awake every night? So these are the challenges that you're facing. It could be related to finance. It could be related to just in general. Now, why do I ask these questions? Number 1, if I know which social media platform my best customers hang out the most, I know which social media platform I need to be on. So I get a lot of questions, right? And I'm pretty sure you guys may ask me the question, like, hey, Eric, should I be on TikTok? Because TikTok seems to be really hot right now. And I'll throw the question back to you and I'll ask you, are your best customers on TikTok? Because if your best customers are not on TikTok, then why are you wasting your time there? Because the whole entire purpose of this exercise is to help you attract more of your best customers. So being on a platform where your best customers are on. Right? Number 2, What time do they usually go online? That's important because now you know what time you post. Why do I do all my Facebook live, at night, at about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock? Because that's when you guys are most active on my Facebook account. Why do I do things on Saturday night? Strangely, this is actually Saturday 9 p.m. is actually the second highest traffic I get, on my Facebook page. So I study you guys by seeing when you come online, and I be there when you're online. All right, you want to catch fish, you go to the place where there are the most fishes, right? That is the same logic. Now, number 3, who do you follow? So ask your best customers who they follow, what personalities they follow, what pages they follow, what groups they follow. Why? Because chances are the best customers can be found in all those pages as well. So if let's say your best customer says, I follow person A, therefore, I predict that the followers of person A may likelihood be your best customer. And so you essentially have access to even more followers, targeted followers who might be able to click with you, right? And also ask them what kind of content do they usually like, which content they will like, which content they will actually look out for, all right? And go study those content because it gives you ideas of what kind of content to create. So you don't really have to create, you just got to model, right, after content that they enjoy. So, don't go and look at other insurance agents, don't look at like maybe Wilfred, right? Wilfred's also from our KRR star, he's probably watching this right now. And he's really super freaking inspiring, right? And then you go and look at him and go, wow, he created this book called Adulting, maybe I should do it as well. Wait a sec, that's his audience, right? You need to ask yourself, who is your audience? Do they even like to read books? Because maybe your audience don't like to read. Then why are you wasting time creating books? So stop studying other insurance agents, right? Go study your customers. The more intimate you are with your customers, the easier it is to attract more of those customers. Why do I spend so much time hanging out with you guys, right? I mean, I go live with you, I DM you guys on Instagram, just have chat with you. Why do I do that? Because I know that the more information I get about you, the more empathetic my content will be online. Like it's like as if Eric is from insurance and somehow he understands the pain that we are going through. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of DMs. It takes a lot of studying your customers. And I want you to do the same. That's really step number 1 of doing well, of building an attraction-based business. That in order to attract your dream customers, you need to know your dream customers, right? And then the last one is, what keeps you awake every night, right? Know your challenges, because ultimately the content that you create resolve those challenges. So a lot of time you guys ask me, Eric, what kind of content to create? How do I know? I can know the overall strategy, but you need to go in and ask your customers, what problems do you have? And if they tell you, I do not know what food to cook during this whole circuit breaker, well, if you know how to cook, great, there's new potential content for you. If you don't know how to cook, curate content for them. So people start paying attention to you because you have content that they want. So don't think that the content you put out on your social media profile must always be about insurance. No, it's dependent on what kind of content attracts your followers. So think of your social media profile like a little pond, all right? And think of every single content like a bait. And every fish that comes your way is your dream customer. So go talk to your dream customer. What kind of bait you like? Ooh, I like worms. I like tubifax worms, Well, I have not used that word for like maybe 20 years, tubifax worm, a little worm, right? And they say, oh, I love tubifax worms. Great. So if you want to attract more of those kind of fishes, right, you go put more tubifax worms. So more of those fishes come. Get it? It's basic fishing. In fact, if I can give you a best analogy, whatever I'm teaching you, it's not hunting. All right, hunting means you go out there and you go after a person and you try to, close that person using your persuasion. That's hunting, right? Shooting. All right, and then you guys have also learned farming, which is you go after your existing customers, you build relationship with them, hopefully they grow with you and they increase their case size with you. That's all great, right? But today what I'm teaching you is fishing. All right, if you guys want to put out there later on Instagram, you say, Eric's teaching us how to fish. I'm really teaching you how to get fish, man. I'm teaching you how to be the biggest fish in the small pond, right? And you are actually attracting all these dream fishes to you. So it's attraction. Now, I just want to pause there. I've shared a lot. I just want to make sure that everybody's still following me. All right. So if you guys are following me, give me a thumbs up, give me a smiley face. Let me know if you guys catch me, because this is the most important bit of the entire process. If you don't get this part right, everything else, will crumble and fail. Okay, you will end up asking me a lot of questions like, oh, what content to create? I try to connect with them, but they don't seem to connect with me because they are not your dream customers, because you found the wrong people. You found people who have money, but they have no chemistry with you. Why would you want to find them? right? I mean, just think about it, right? Why do I go after the insurance people? Because you guys are pro learning. Why do I not go after bankers? Because I stand corrected, right? If you're a banker, you can correct me, okay? But I've trained bankers before. I've trained insurance agents. It's world apart. Bankers are really, really very focused on just getting the sale. They're extremely transactional. So my methods won't work. My methods is farming and now fishing. It will not work for them. They are not my dream customers, but they are somebody else's dream customers. Why do I want to go after them? Right? I go after you guys because you guys are in an insurance business. That means you are here to serve. And I have been a beneficiary of insurance. My dad has been a beneficiary of insurance. There's a lot of chemistry. I have a lot of appreciation and respect for you guys. Therefore, when I work with you, I don't feel I'm working with you. I feel I'm helping you because when I help you, I help myself. Can you see that? That's the magic when you're going after your dream customer. So guys, this is a brand new chance, okay? Don't think about just want to attract highly profitable, high net worth customers. That's only just one out of the 3 criteria. You find people with money, yes, but it has to have chemistry, right? Sim Diha Christie is asking, all right? Anyone knows what's the other criteria? Network, right? So I'm looking for people who have, high disposable income. They have a lot of chemistry with me, and they have network. Right? They know a lot of people either because of their personality, or they know a lot of people because they have a lot of followers on social media, or they know a lot of people because they are powerful in a corporate world. These are all my best customers, right? And I'm going to find more of those people because my life will get easier, right, in 2020 as a result.